Okay, as we continue with part 2 of our look at prokaryotic cells. Some prokaryotic cells have cell walls that are covered by capsules. Now, the capsule is a sticky layer usually made of protein or in some cases, a complex polysaccharide. The capsule allows the bacterial cell to adhere to a substrate or to other individuals in a colony situation. The capsule may also protect the bacteria from its host cells, its host body's immune system. So if we look here at this bacterial cell, we can see the cytoplasm in orange. You can see the cell wall surrounding it, and then this fuzzy layer right here composed of these polysaccharides and proteins. This is the capsule. And we can also see how it's adhering to this particular cell. Now, capsules are a little bit like endospores for protection, but endospores are formed on the inside of the bacterial cell. Endospores help cope with harsh environmental conditions, and these endospores sort of represent the bacteria in a state of suspended animation. Normally what happens when the environment isn't conducive for the bacterial cell to grow properly, they will form these endospores on the inside, and the cell cytoplasm partially dehydrates. And they can remain viable like this for many, many, many years, and they can withstand a host of environmental conditions. And this is one of the reasons why autoclaves are used to sterilize equipment. The high heat and high pressure not only can break down the cell walls, but also can break the endospores, killing the bacteria. Now, other bacteria stick to the substrate or form colonies by using hair-like projections called fimbra or pili. This particular example is Neisseria gonorrhoeae, which causes the sexually transmitted disease gonorrhea, and it uses these fimbrae, these hair-like projections coming off of the cell wall to attach itself to mucous membranes of the urogenital tract. These fimbra are not like flagella, so therefore they are not used for locomotion. Locomotion in prokaryotes can be accomplished using flagella. As these flagella beat, it can propel the prokaryote, but notice that the prokaryotic flagella are structured a little bit differently than our eukaryotic flagella. Now, prokaryotic cells are typically simpler than eukaryotic cells. We've already discussed that. And one of the reasons is that they lack these membrane-enclosed organelles. But they may have membranes on the inside that can perform essential metabolic functions such as respiration to make ATPs from nutrient sources, and photosynthesis used to make nutrient molecules from inorganic carbon. The nucleus of eukaryotic cells is contrasted by a nucleoid region that we find in our prokaryotic cells. So this is a region of the cytoplasm where the genetic material is located. And if we look here at this prokaryotic cell, we can see that this little squiggly line, well, this represents the prokaryotic chromosome. It's typically circular, and it has less proteins associated with it than eukaryotic chromosomes. As I mentioned earlier, many prokaryotic cells also have plasmids, small rings of DNA molecules that carry fewer genes. As a group, bacteria are highly successful because they are able to adapt at remarkable rates and can adapt to changes very quickly. For instance, it is very easy for certain strains of bacteria to develop a resistance to certain antibiotics, for example. And this is because they have a very, very rapid generation time, simply because they reproduce by binary fission, literally one cell dividing into two.